It takes two to tango. It takes two. It's Tuesday. It actually is Tuesday. These are the best monster combos in Summoner's War. And if there are some that aren't in this list, then you should leave them in a comment down below. Maybe if there's enough of these, I'll make a second one. Starting off the list, it's Leo and Verd. The way Leo's passive works makes it so that he always starts in a game. That didn't sound like the end of the sentence, but it was. He puts a cap on every monster's speed. And what Verd does is he boosts attack bar every single time he crits, and presumably he's going to be critting every single time he moves. Now the result of this is so much attack bar that you'll find you're going to be lapping turns faster than your opponent, who is miles behind you thanks to Leo's cap. And more turns is generally more better, so keep that in mind. Next, let's stick with the Dragon Knight family. Leo and or Ragdoll pair very well with Vivachel, the Dark Heart Magician. It's notably only Leo and Ragdoll because these are the only two Dragon Knights that have Torrent as a second skill. And Torrent has this little clause at the end of it that says if you're below 30% HP, then it will ignore defense. Now Vivachel is excellent for this because her third skill, which is Song of Switch Destiny, will swap the ratios of your HP and your attack bar. You can technically do this to anybody, but part of the combo is doing it to your own unit. So while normally this could set up some unique little kill scenarios for the enemy team, what it can do for you is it can put your Leo or Ragdoll within Torrent range immediately. That way you can get a clutch little takedown right out the door. Next is Tablo and Jamire, who were the inspiration for this video actually. These two hold a special place in my heart because I love effects in Summoner's War that make me feel like I'm cheating. And this is one of those times. Tablo's third skill, Return Dice, resets all attack bars down to 0, and then it applies a speed buff on his allies, and it stuns him. With proper runing, this is going to result in your entire team getting another round of combat before your enemies do. Now, where Jamire comes into play is his third skill, which resets the cooldown times of all of your allies, but it also cleanses. So that means it's going to get rid of the stun that Tablo put on himself, meaning that you're free to do the thing again. Huh? Pretty cool, right? Feels like you're cheating.
It's all true. I'm cheating. I'm cheating.
Right into the next one, baby. Here we go.
Ow! Son of a nutcracker!
Next, it's Xingje and Molly. Also, maybe Manon? Manon could be in this. Could be Manon, too. I call this the danged if you do, danged if you don't combo. All of these monsters have a passive that specifically affects the battlefield when they are not the target of an attack. So for instance, Molly is going to add a chance to glance, Xingje has a chance to counterattack, and Manon has a chance to parry and ignore the damage altogether. But if you pair more than one of them together, what you end up getting is at least one passive at any given time. This can lend itself to some pretty fun emergent gameplay, well, at least for the person receiving the attack, where all of their units start counterattacking. There's a whole bunch of counterattacking units that could kind of be +1'd into this combo, but for the sake of the video, these three will do fine. Welcome back to America's favorite game show. What in the Shizuka? Shizuka combos so well with so many monsters that she needs her own segment of the video. So here we are. First, Shizuka, Vanessa, and like Kraka. Shizuka's second skill allows her to revive a fallen ally. Then they pop up, do their thing for one turn, and then they go away again. But where this gets like really interesting is when you pair it with somebody who has a revive in their kit. So Vanessa's skill 3, Kraka's skill 3 that revives all allies. Eladriel, technically, though you don't really see much Eladriel in RTA. She's also insane with monsters like Ganymede that have Ventilate on skill 2 and Seal Magic. So you can even ventilate Shizuka, so you can do it again. Praha for the heal, Nikki for the damage or cleanse, the Robos for the strip and attack bar reduction, and she's especially devastating with snipe units like Oberon. That concludes the Shizuka segment. We don't need to use that. Let's just go on to the next thing. Next is the combo that's been on everybody's mind for the last like 2 seasons of RTA, Miles and the Rat. Miles' passive benefits twofold from Racuni's skill set. The first is that he gets a buff, and it's a relevant one. It's the speed buff. He gets additional speed in proportion to how many buffs are in play, and then he ignores defense based on his speed. So with the two of them combined, you can use Racuni to boost up Miles to give him additional damage using that speed buff. Or you can just keep him alive. Like, we've all seen the situation where Miles and Racuni make a comeback. Again, that was the end of the sentence. It sounded like there was more to say. There wasn't. Laura and Wedjat. 2 monsters that have been nerfed recently. Turns out they're still pretty good. Wedjat boosts attack bar of his allies based on how many buffs are in play. Laura, super high base speed, and applies a defense buff and a speed buff. Between these two units, you're going to be getting lots of turns. And more turns generally means more better. Do I really want to make that joke a second time? Was it that good to begin with?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
These monsters are amazing duos in Summoner's War, but there are some monsters that are just amazing independently and should see more play. And those monsters have their own videos, which you can interact with right there. All right, bye everybody.